Remember, my excellent drivers, you are responsible for the safe use of your vehicle and abiding by the state or territory rules that you are driving in, and that, of course, includes mobile phone usage.
Welcome to the Learn to Drive podcast. I'm your host, Liz Lafferty, and I'm here to guide you through the twists and turns of learning to drive with a few laughs along the way. So whether you're a newbie trying to figure out why the car keeps beeping at you, or a seasoned road warrior who still can't parallel park without causing a minor traffic jam, I've got you covered. So buckle up, check those mirrors, and let's hit the road to becoming a more confident and happier driver. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Art of Confident Driving. Today I am absolutely thrilled to have Courtenay Rufus from CRUDE Driving here with us to tell us all about hook turns in Melbourne. Please welcome Courtenay.
Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate you bringing me on board.
Oh, my pleasure, because hook turns, oh my goodness. I've attempted a couple on the odd occasion I've been in Melbourne, but wow, they are quite complex. So this is why I'm thrilled to have you on, and I'm sure our listeners are, because we really need to understand how this thing works, because I'm sure there's a lot of confusion out there.
Yes, there certainly is. And every time I talk about it or we sort of discuss it online, there is confusion still between, and especially for people from other countries.
Yes.
They don't understand it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from Australia. I barely understand it myself.
I think Victoria, I don't know if they're elsewhere around Australia, but Victoria is known for having hook turns.
Yeah. And so what are they to do with? Why do we have to do a hook turn?
If you think about it, when we do a right turn at traffic lights, we need to progress into the center of the intersection to wait for it to be safe to then proceed through and clear the intersection into the side street to our right. So what happens is vehicles move into the middle and then they block the traffic from behind going straight through.
Yep.
So the traffic that wants to go straight through at the traffic lights is blocked due to the vehicle in the middle waiting to turn right. But long ago, from what I know, it was mainly to do with trams. So it was trams run straight down the middle of the road, vehicles pull in front of the tram, block the tram from proceeding straight through the intersection with traffic lights. That's where the hook turn came in.
Yeah.
So that it moved everyone over to the left side to wait there to then turn right and join the flow of traffic from the intersecting road. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But my goodness, it is complex. So I always assumed it was totally to do with trams. I remember my dad, back when I was a little girl and we visited there, he said, yeah, it's because the trams go in the middle of the road. But are these hook turns used at other intersections without trams?
Correct. So
really?
Now they started off, from what I know, on Exhibition Street in the CBD, just with your standard traffic, no tram lanes. So your cars and trucks and all that going through. And again, it was to stop drivers or road users from moving into the center of the intersection. Also to note, this is why cyclists should do a hook turn, because it's safer. They move across to the left side of the intersection and wait there to join the flow of traffic on the intersecting road. They're rather than putting themselves in the middle of the intersection, which is high risk.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but once you understand the reasonings behind it, it's not all that bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm originally from Sydney and I'm up here on the Gold Coast now, and in both states, we've got little right turn bays usually to enable us to safely sit in the intersection without interfering with that oncoming traffic. But by the same token, I don't imagine every intersection, especially the older suburbs, the big cities, they've got very old suburbs and therefore old roads. You may not be able to pop that right turn bay in there. So I guess I can understand why they're doing hook turns in some intersections. But my next question would be, are they starting to do it in all of them? Or would they be thinking of doing the right turn bays? Is that still happening?
You'll find some right turn bays, and actually in, where is it? West Melbourne, North Melbourne, I can't remember the exact suburb. They've created right turn only lanes where there was originally two continuous lanes going straight through, and then obviously you could turn right from the right lane, but vehicles could go straight through as well. Now it's dedicated turning only.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, some of our intersections obviously much smaller, And so that's why they're getting people to move over to the left side to wait, because they end up blocking the traffic,
Okay. All right.
from
Okay.
flowing straight through.
Yeah, it's starting to make sense. Again, people from outside of Melbourne, we're kind of a bit mystified about it, but it's starting to make a lot more sense. So what should the procedure be? What should it look like if it's done correctly?
So correctly and legally, we have to look for the sign prior. So also, as we mentioned before, they're popping up in different places now where they weren't usually. So for example, in Carlton, we've got them all along Grattan Street at the intersection of Lygon Street, for example, and people need to do it there. So what they're looking for is a big hook turn sign, turn right from left only, and they need to move up into the intersection from the left lane inside the intersection to the as far left as possible without getting in the way of the pedestrians or anything like that, and wait there until the light is green on their right-hand side. So they are not allowed to go unless that light legally not allowed to go and enter that road to their right until that traffic light is green.
So the person who's performing the hook turn, they're facing a red light. Is that correct?
So the person who's performing the hook turn is facing a green light in front of them for the continuing road.
Yes.
Okay, so they've come up and they need to turn right into the road to their right, which has a red light.
Yeah.
So as they move up to the left, in front of them will be the green light for the traffic flowing straight through.
Yeah.
And then they need to wait there till their light in front of them turns yellow and red.
Right.
And then the light to their right turns red to green.
Yeah.
And then they're allowed to enter that road to their right.
Wow. Okay. So,
hard to explain.
No. You explained it fairly well. So if I'm doing a hook turn, I pull into the left. I've got a green round light facing me. I don't have any arrows.
Correct.
When that light goes to yellow, can I move off or no?
Technically, no. So the light in front of you turns yellow. The light to your right will still be red. So if you enter that road on the red, you are running a red light.
Okay.
You can be fined up to $400 and over and incur 3 demerit points for that.
Okay.
Yep.
So that is a very major difference between a regular right turn at lights and a hook turn.
Yes.
That is a monster difference. So anybody listening, if you're performing a regular right turn at lights, and again, this is available on my podcast in the subscriber area, you will hear me talk you through very clearly how to turn right at traffic lights without arrows. You would move into the intersection, give way, and of course, you're legally allowed to turn right on a yellow or a red light. Either one is fine. But here, thank goodness I'm getting clarification from Mr. Courtenay, we cannot turn. So it sounds like you've only got a few seconds after your light goes to red to get moving in front of the traffic that's now got the green light. Gee, you'd want to be a confident driver.
Correct. Yeah, when we do it with students, it's quite the challenge because if we've got 2 cars behind us who are waiting with us, they will get on their horns if we don't move as soon as the light in front of us turns yellow and red. But what they don't understand is legally we cannot go. Now, I don't make the rules.
No.
I'm just trying to help people understand them.
Yes.
And also around, legality, of course, what's legal, what can we do? Personally, Liz, I like to slowly move the vehicle when it turns yellow. And I believe you might have seen that in my video with the hook turn video on YouTube because it starts to create momentum so that when the light goes green on the right side, you can join the flow of traffic with ease. Moving from a stop position to a full moving position is much more difficult, as you may or may not know, right?
Yeah. Especially if you're doing manual, even more fun.
Yes, but just quickly, we could get in trouble for that because we're not supposed to go completely until it's green on the right side.
Wow, yeah, I'm just trying to picture it. Unless you've got an incredibly big intersection, you'd be lucky to get more than 1 or 2 cars through before that side traffic from your left starts coming through. I'm not worried about the right because we've got a few seconds before they're where we are. But the guys on our left, my goodness, that really is quite complex.
It can be. So 2 cars usually can fit in. 3 is pushing it a bit, depending on the size of the intersection.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it works. And I mean, it's like anything with road rules, traffic and all that. The people who are on the road we're entering who have to wait, they just have to wait. They have to wait for us to start moving and start getting in. And we're all sharing the road and people need to have a little patience with
Absolutely.
that's like how it operates. It's not Again, we're not the ones who created it.
No, no, the government
yeah.
did. And all their advisors have said that this is a good idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
So with trams, it's great because it allows the trams to go through and keep flowing.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That makes total sense to me. But to do it on a regular road, I'm a bit mystified as to why. I mean, again, I've been in plenty of Sydney suburbs where I've been stuck behind a right-turning car, and it is what it is. If you can get around him, great. If not, you just have to wait for him to turn right. So, yeah, anyway, hey, at least now we know, me included, we understand about how it works, why it works, and how to do it. So that was quite an education. Thank you for that. So,
no problem.
So I guess the next question is, because I always want to figure out if something does go wrong, how to fix it. So what are the more common things that would go wrong doing this?
So there's some dangers to it, of course, one being that a vehicle behind runs the red light and you're about to turn right. So then you have to be stopped in the middle. So you would stop and then, you're sitting there, but obviously you're joining that flow of traffic. You just got to get moving and join the flow of traffic. The other day when we were doing one, we had the driver behind beeping their horn and going crazy at us. And there was nothing we could do because the light was red on the right-hand side. It went green and then we started to move, but they tried to move and cut in front of us.
Wow.
But, then we just kept moving and then they joined in behind and it was all happy days.
Right.
So there's not too much that can go wrong with it. Okay. Some people might turn on the yellow and in front of them. So say it goes yellow, they'll just turn like a normal red light traffic light. And you're not allowed to do that. Okay. Not supposed to. Yeah. But what do you think might go wrong? Any ideas?
Well, like I say, I am a bit concerned about the small amount of time because it's normally a 3-second gap between when our light goes red and the opposing lights go green. So 3 seconds, if you're not quick off the mark, I can just picture a lot of people coming from my left and beeping me.
It doesn't really happen. It more so happens from the vehicles behind.
Right.
I've never experienced it from the traffic to the left. One of the other dangers is a cyclist or a scooter rider comes up on your left and tries to get in front of you and all that kind of stuff. And that's where I think the ruling could change because it says you must remain stationary until the light on the right is green. You must remain there and not move, basically. Yeah. And I think when the light goes yellow and red in front of us, we should be able to start slowly rolling and then commit when the light goes green on the right-hand side.
That sounds like a smarter way of doing things. You're preparing for what's going to happen.
That's right. And then joining the flow of traffic.
Yeah. And more cars would be able to get through. Well, maybe, folks, we can join Courtenay and maybe have a chat with our local state representative to say, hey, can we take a look at this rule, please?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it does sound a smarter way to move forward into the intersection and A, commit to the turn and B, be ready for when it is your turn to go.
Yeah, it's certainly more realistic, more practical.
Okay. So I can totally understand, because you mentioned just before we started recording here, you mentioned that a lot of overseas license holders do very much struggle with this maneuver. And I can understand why. Again, I'm an Aussie and I know about it, but I don't imagine that overseas license holders would have a clue. Maybe we could give them a little pamphlet saying how to do a hook turn or how to at least watch out for one.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Should be on the planes when they come in, when everyone comes in.
I agree. That and stick between the flags when you're swimming, guys. That's a Gold Coast tip from me. Thank you. So, yeah, I haven't said it yet, and I'm going to do an episode soon on extra plates that I think should be used, and I think T for tourist would be a great one.
Yeah.
I think it just warns people, hey, they don't know the road rules really well. They might have an international license where they've been driving in other countries and they've got a pretty good idea. But again, there are some complex road rules here in Australia which would be quite foreign to those people and they would struggle. So I think a little T plate wouldn't hurt, just give people a warning that I could do something silly. Please be kind.
Yeah, that would be good. Have you been to New Zealand before?
Oh, I loved it. Yes, I went there 2 years ago. Loved it.
On the plane on the way there on Air New Zealand, they have a video about it. If you go through their videos, it should be a mandatory video that everyone watches, and it talks about driving on New Zealand roads from police officers, and they talk about various aspects of driving in New Zealand for foreigners.
I love that. That is very clever. Of course, the Kiwis are ahead of us on a few things, and that is definitely one of them. Well done, you Kiwis. Love it. All right. Well, I cannot thank you enough, Courtenay, for spending time with us and explaining the hook turns, because it really has made it a lot easier for us to understand. So anybody listening, Courtenay's got a really cool YouTube channel, so I do strongly recommend you go check that out. Courtenay, the name of it is?
Just the business name, which is usually CRUDE Driving. So CRUDE Driving on YouTube.
There you go, CRUDE Driving on YouTube. So yeah, everybody, thank Courtenay for being with us, and we really look forward to having him back next time. You are going to come back next time, aren't you?
Definitely.
Excellent. Loving that. Okay, so we'll look forward to that. And I'm sure Courtenay agrees with me when we say, please, everybody, take your time. Don't rush. Everybody's out there to have a nice time on the roads. Let's be kind, let's be pleasant, and let's be courteous.
Definitely. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, Liz. Thank you for having me on board.
Absolute pleasure. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. And my full driving lessons are available on Apple Podcasts and the artofconfidentdriving.com website, where you will get access to instructional videos. Remember to relax and enjoy the drive. See you next time.